Hello.
Hello, Reb. Brian from Rockeyez. How you doing today?
Hey, Brian. Doing
Hey,
good.
good. Tell me a little bit about the new album, A View from the Inside.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's it's an instrumental record,
right.
and it's not your typical, you know, shredder guy instrumental. That's all just kind of guitar music. It was really more about the songs than me kind of shredding all over it and showing what I can do on guitar. It's
Right.
not that. It's kind of more of a listening experience. With I worked really hard on the songs to make them good melodic songs that was great for driving
Wow.
and jogging and
Cool.
just
Definitely.
really listenable. And it took me a long time. It's more like a hobby than anything else. And so with COVID, I finally got to finish it and release it.
Did each song, flow right through, or did, you get halfway done and then, finish the rest, or how's it come to you?
Well, it's kind of a long story. It's a long story short. It was 93, and Winger broke up, and I wanted something different that, wouldn't all of a sudden be uncool. And I figured I could be like a Joe Satriani guy
Right, yeah.
and do a record of all guitar and just tour that, and it wouldn't, overnight I would lose everything, like Winger did.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Wow.
so I made demos, and I shopped them all around, and no one would sign it because it was instrumental. Everyone wanted a vocal. But I sold it on my website then, and it sold like hotcakes. And I got all these letters from people and comments saying, this is my favorite thing that you've ever done, and you need to do a record of this, a full-on record. So I put it aside, and I did Masquerade, which was the solo album that came out in 2002. That was my solo album with vocals. But I always worked on this little thing that I wanted to do, something with no vocals, because I got so much feedback from it that people just loved it, and I sold the demos. They still sell on iTunes.
Right.
So this was a long-awaited record for fans of me.
Wow. So did you shop at the different labels, and how did Frontiers come to you?
Well, I did shop at the different labels, but Frontiers was the one that kind of said, Reb, we'll just do it as a favor to you
Right.
because of our long history together. I mean, I did Black Swan and Winger and Whitesnake and The Mob, so I've done a bunch of records with those guys, and they were kind enough to sign it, and they loved it.
Cool. Um, Now, getting past the solo album, do you foresee any new Winger music coming?
Yeah, we're working on it now. We've written 11 songs, but Kip's got this total high bar, so he threw away 6 of them. So now we have 5 songs.
Right.
And already I like it better. Already I like it better than the last record.
Cool.
It's progressive. It's more like Karma to me. It's totally headbanging rock, but at the same time it's very sing-along, melodic, and very progressive, like kind of rock licks, guitar licks that you haven't really heard before. Because I brought him in a bunch of stuff. I brought him in 15 guitar licks, and he turned them all down and said, if he hears the first 3 chords, he knows what the next 3 chords are going to be, and he doesn't want that. And so I'll bring that to Black Swan for Black Swan 2.
Cool. Do you
Which is what happened last time. That's how Black Swan got written.
Wow. Do you see anything coming from Whitesnake?
I haven't heard anything about a tour or anything from David. We hear from David though every single day on the Whitesnake thread. He always texts us jokes and asks how we're doing every single day. When we did that last show in Singapore before COVID, or right when COVID hit, and we had to fly home, he said, "Snakes, you're all snakes. I want you to stay in touch, and we're going to stick together through this thing."
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
and he has been staying in touch. So as soon as something comes up, I'm sure he'll tell us and we gear up for it.
Cool. At least he stays in touch and keeps it going. So that's cool. Tell me.
Yeah.
Let's go. Even further back. Do you remember working with a Jersey band where I live called Xenon?
Sure.
You worked
I
with?
do.
Yes. So what'd you do with them?
Oh, I don't know. God, it was so long ago. I might have played a solo on their record.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. They were a great band, killer band. There was another band called Prophet that was
Right.
playing when I was, young. Great music, killer players, and I knew the singer was in Danger too. I knew him. Those guys were, all around. It was kind of like a clique
Right.
that I, got into because I was living in Jersey. I was living in Hoboken,
Cool.
trying to make it just like them,
Wow. How about a local band that played Studio One called Trick Blue?
That rings a bell.
I just wanted to know. A friend of mine said you did work with them, a demo or something, and that band played at Studio One. So he wanted me to bring that up.
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I did.
Cool.
Yeah, tell him I said hi.
Cool. So what's the most impressive thing being in the music, the biggest highlight for you?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of highlights. I'd say the greatest day of my life was last year when I got to jam with Steve Morris and the Dixie Dregs.
Right.
They called me up on stage. I went to the show and had no idea he was going to call me up.
Wow.
And that was it. That was my favorite band. My whole life was the Dixie Dregs, and so to get up there and jam with them was really, really something.
Wow.
And I had lots of just moments going like, I've made it, when like Brian May watched my whole show from 10 feet away from me, stared at me for the whole show, and I had a great show. I totally was on fire.
Wow.
And then he tweeted afterwards, I just saw one of the greatest guitar players of our time, Reb Beach.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it.
That's amazing.
Brian May.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things like that. I learned to play guitar from Molly Hatchet.
Wow.
And the lead singer from Molly Hatchet got up and sang Sweet Home Alabama with us, and he put his arm around me and he did that foot stomping thing that he always used to do.
Right, yeah.
And I was a huge Molly Hatchet fan. So yeah, just all kinds of stuff like that has happened. Cool. And I'm so blessed. I'm like Forrest Gump, man. Great things have happened to me for my whole life.
Cool. But what's your feeling towards this virtual shows and stuff like that? Do you have any feelings towards that?
Oh, whatever you can do to pay the bills. I mean, I'm giving virtual lessons.
Right.
And, I've given 200 lessons now, and it's gone great. It's almost better than giving lessons in being in the room, because you record the whole thing so they can go back and reference stuff. It's been wonderful. So, whatever you can do is great. I mean, I know that the fans of music are all jonesing. They're all like alcoholics, you know?
Yeah.
They're dying for their live shows. So this is what we can offer now, and I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, me too. I'm a photographer, a concert photographer, so what can I do?
Yeah,
there's
I hear you, man.
There's
there's caterers, there's bus drivers.
Yeah.
There's so many people involved in this. It's not just musicians.
Right. When you finished this solo album, A View from the Inside, did you start thinking about another album after that?
Well, Masquerade 2 for sure is going to happen.
Right.
I've got a ton of stuff written for that. I can't wait for that one. And then, of course, I'm working on Winger. I'm flying out there to Nashville in a couple weeks to finish that. And then I'm sure there'll be Black Swan 2.
Cool. Anything else in the works besides that?
I have a master class on Saturday, and just doing the lessons. Doing the lessons and hoping that Winger is going to get back on the road in May.
Cool. Like when someone hooks up with you for a lesson, or they starstruck or anything like that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just stare and they're shaking, and they're in Poland or some other country, and they're just saying, I can't believe I am looking at Reb Beach. I am looking at Reb Beach right now. So I just tell them, like, listen, if you knew me, you wouldn't be nervous. I'm a totally very laid-back, normal guy.
Right.
And by the end of it, they always feel great, and they always say they had a great time, and they always do another lesson. Most of my students have done another one. I have one guy that's done 32 lessons.
Wow.
And another guy I became friends with him. I don't even charge him anymore. Like, he and I are just friends now.
Right, right, right.
Like, we text each other all the time. Like, I made a really good friend from giving lessons.
So
And some guys are better guitar players than me and actually teach me stuff.
come on, yeah. So how
Yeah,
can
it's
people
true.
contact you to get lessons?
Just Google Reb Beach guitar lessons is the easiest way.
Okay.
It's official redbeach@gmail.com, and you don't even have to play guitar. We can sit there and talk for an hour.
Cool.
I do that a lot. You'd be surprised. Everyone wants to hear, David Coverdale stories and stuff
Wow.
like that.
Unbelievable. Well, Reb, congratulations, a view from the inside on Frontiers Records. Would you like to say anything in conclusion?
No, just check out my album. Especially if you're a guitar player, you like it. But a lot of people have been saying that they really like the fact that it doesn't have lyrics and vocals, and it's been very enjoyable for them to listen to, just hearing the music. And it's not just all rock; it's all different kinds of styles of, like, jazz is infused in there, and I'm very proud of it. And I suppose if you like that Joe Satriani album, you'll probably like this one.
Cool, cool. Thanks a lot, Reb. Talk to you later.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.